All right, we'll start out here with the 10-2 Baltimore Ravens going to the 9-3 Buffalo Bills house. The Ravens are 5.5-point favorites, 76% of the bets, 81% of the money on the Ravens. 43.5 is the total with 77% of the bets, but only 60% of the money on the over. Thoughts, stuff?
Well, if the Bills win this game and the Chiefs beat the Patriots, we are headed to Week 15 with the Bills as the number 1 overall seed in the AFC. Just throwing that out there. Look, I mean, the Bills are much better than I thought. Let me say that again. I significantly upgraded them after that game against Dallas. And, Dallas did some Dallas things. And by the way, that's not a win against a winning team. It was at the time, but the Bills' strength of schedule still is weak, but their defense showed me some things. Their run defense is still vulnerable, and Zeke had some success when they ran it. They didn't run it as much as I thought they would. But their defense doesn't give up many big plays. They have great safeties, but their linebackers like Milano and company, Alexander, they're good in coverage. They're better in coverage and pass rush than they are against the run. Which is why they're one of the worst run defenses in the NFL, especially up the middle. But they're good at covering tight ends. They're good at covering backs out of the backfield. They don't give up a ton of big plays. They have a corner that can match up with Brown on the outside. So I think that what the Ravens are going to want to do here is just they're going to go super run heavy. Not necessarily they're going to use Lamar as a chess piece and he's going to be running the ball, but you're going to see them pound it more than you've seen them in recent weeks, right up the gut, right at Buffalo. The question is, can they not get behind in this game? I mean, that to me is the biggest key to everything that the Ravens do is, obviously it's Lamar Jackson, it's the run game, but they are using Lamar and the shock factor of seeing this offense every week. And then what happens is, I got to look up how much the Ravens. Okay. So what happens is these teams aren't used to seeing, they don't have a Lamar Jackson in practice. You don't see this type of Ravens offense. And then they're getting behind. The Ravens are averaging like almost 9 points per first quarter. That's number 1 in the NFL. The Bills are averaging like 3, which is bottom 6 or 7. So, and then once the Ravens get a lead, then they can do what they really want to do. Pound it, use Lamar, play action, the tight ends, and then their defense can swarm. And when the Ravens have the lead, what they're going to do is Martingale's just going to blitz the house. And since they've had their 3 corners with Peters, Smith, and Humphrey, and by the way, Humphrey will be on Beasley in the slot, and he can cover the slot, unlike the Cowboys. So I think that they'll take away the Bills' receivers. But what they can do with a lead is then they just blitz everybody. And they are just bringing everyone, and they're trusting their corners on the outside, and they have a lead, and they can do that, and they can play aggressive. So if the Bills can come out and keep this close early, I think this game will be close. I think the Bills can have a little bit of success running the ball, but the Josh Allen thing, he's a mobile quarterback. You saw with Deshaun Watson. The Ravens practiced against Lamar Jackson.
Yep.
Deshaun Watson was corralled the entire game. They were, you see it with these mobile quarterbacks when Russell Wilson, Lamar, Watson, even Josh Allen, when you come back and then, a defender is coming at you and you just juke him, you see it all the time. He's running right by it. With the Ravens against the Texans, they were just planning themselves, making sure Watson was contained, and then another defender would come in. That's what happens when you practice against Lamar Jackson every day. The Bills maybe benefit a little bit from that, but, I mean, Lamar Jackson's just a different level and a different speed than Josh Allen. So, I think that the Bills might have a little bit of success running the ball, but Pierce, the Ravens' run defense numbers are bad, but a lot of their bad games have came when Pierce and Williams were out. Well, they're back and healthy now, and that run defense is going to be a lot better. Although, keep this in mind with the Ravens. One of their weakest spots is Earl Thomas doesn't want to tackle anyone anymore. I mean, he just doesn't want to do it. He'll do it when he has to. And then Marcus Peters has never wanted to tackle anyone his entire career. So you saw that last week with the 49ers. The 49ers had like 28 rushes for 110 yards, and then they had 2 big rushes, one for 40 and one for 20, and they were out on the outside when Peters, I guess you could call it an attempted tackle, and then Thomas, I guess you could call it. So if they get on the outside, that it gives me nightmares thinking about the Peters and then Thomas trying to make a tackle. But the Ravens' run defense is significantly improved. I I like the under here. I think this is going to be low scoring, just like last weekend with San Fran. I know Buffalo's playing a little faster now with their offensive coordinator up in the box, and they want to go with a little more pace. But these receivers are going to be locked down by the Ravens corners. That people talk about Lamar Jackson all the time and this offense, as they should, but people need to start talking about the Ravens defense. And because of Lamar Jackson, the Ravens defense can play. It's a perfect harmony. And then you have the special teams come into play, and the Ravens will have the better kicker, the better punter. The Bills' punter is awful. They'll own field position. So I think Ravens win, but the line's about right. I mean, the Ravens are just overvalued in the market right now. And I like the under. I think it's like a 2017, 2014 type of game. Keep an eye on the weather, too. It's in Buffalo in December.
Yeah, I think the play is the under 43. You got it looks like the winds are going to be up, which 10 miles per hour plus 56% hit rate. And then you also have, I mean, in these games with the Bills defense and Josh Allen, 16-7 in his career starts to the under. So do like the under as well, better than a side.
And I, by the way, I don't think you see the Bills go as fast this week. And as they have been going against this Ravens defense, it's going to be tough round, and you want to keep Lamar off the field. So I think that you're going to see them go a little slower than they have been going, but we'll see.